Hello, everybody. Welcome in. It's the Sunday check-in. It is day 31 of streaming in a row. We have the Sunday check-in, as usual, is to go over the happenings of how the stream has grown in the past week. And I thought I'd do something a little more special, is look at the past 30 days. Since today is day 31, we have 30 days of data that we can go over. And that also goes into my personal life on what I'm doing with that, and also how the socials are doing on everything. So, all in all, pretty cool stuff. This is definitely not like a game stream, but it can always evolve into that. It's really just a situation of, you know, the clarity that I want to give to the community so we can all see how this is building together since we're all a part of this. Um, so, we have my stream up here. We'll dive right into it. Um, we can see I'm starting to get this pattern like ebb and flow through the week, right? And I wanted to look at this over the long term once 100 days is done to kind of pick out what are the most ideal days to do a stream, so I can cut back off of that every day of the week, right? Because that eventually will get pretty taxing to anybody, especially when you're still making short form content on the side. And eventually I'm going to be moving into more long form content too. So, uh, it's nice to have that and looking at how everything's going. My viewers, my averages aren't bad. We're a far cry from getting to 75 average viewers, but it's long-term growth that matters on that, right? Like you have to work from the small close community that you start with. It gets a little bigger, it gets a little bigger, and so on and so forth, and eventually it builds up and into this point that you know all these people come into it and enjoy it and have fun with what you're doing, and are all part of it, which I think is really cool and something that's really important. But that's at partner as well. Like if I never get that, no worries. I do this because I enjoy doing it. I want to be doing this. I want to share my gameplay and the fun I have with people. That's really like the whole point of that. Um, so 4.2, hey, I'm averaging 4 people that enjoy hanging out. That's awesome in my opinion. In the last 30 days, we've gained 46 follows. So we're up to 67 followers now. 17 subs, $104 in revenue, and I've done 83 hours and 36 minutes of streaming. So I'm averaging probably like 2.5 hours a day. My streams are usually about 3, though the Sunday check-in generally cuts my average down because this stream is kind of like my recovery day where we go over all the details, I answer any questions or anything, and we all get to go over that. And then once that's all done, we can hang out and chat for a bit. But if it's pretty casual, nobody wants to stick around or whatever, then it kind of gives me the flexibility to go off and work on some more short form stuff and, live the real life outside of just streaming. So, yeah, Twitch is doing good. It's not the platform for growth though. And we have to look at my TikTok, my Instagram, and my YouTube for that because that's where I put all my shorts. Um, and so YouTube over the last 28 days, you can see, not a lot of traction, and it gets a little better. Like this is my I post like it shows you down here what you did publishing videos and the traction it gives you on YouTube, which is cool. But my slime death didn't get a whole heck of a lot. Like we can see how my different content did. And I'm just, I found that informational stuff is hands down the most traction that you're going to get. Um, and it also depends on the form of content or the platform. So YouTube was a pretty substantial um, initial takeoff, but I think my TikTok is what has kind of taken the lead spot on growth. But you can see like my lizard video over here got 3,748 views. Instagram seems to be essentially dead in the water. And I've heard that with a lot of other content creators as well. They say their Instagrams just don't grow like they used to, and they're pretty stagnant. And people are saying that maybe Instagram has done something behind the scenes to adjust what your stuff is going out to. And if your followers on it are, if all you have is your friends and stuff, but they don't like your content, like, oh, your friends might be supporting you, but they're not WoW players, right? And they're not hitting the like on that content. Instagram won't pick it up and spread it to other people, regardless of what the hashtags are. So it's going similar to what people think TikTok is doing, where it's showing it to your followers first. And based on the click-through rates, like rates, comments, it's the interactions there. It pushes it over into, um, a greater audience and grows it there. So if we look at, my content here, um, where's my lizard video? Newest lizard video. It got 31 views on Instagram. It reached 15 accounts, and they were all followers for my interactions. Like, accounts reached 15, non-followers 50%, followers 50%. It showed this to 15 people that don't follow me. That is dramatically low. YouTube, if we look at it, like the reach into people's feed, 3.7K views, right? That is 100 times, right? Yeah, 100 times more views than Instagram. Like, I can close to it. I'll leave that open. It's crazy just to see how the difference in platforms is working on the same content published at the same times. But then we go to TikTok and look at my content. That video got 13,000 views, and it was published a week ago. That is insane. Like, that was a really good video, one of the first ones that I felt like, oh, we kind of hit a mark here. And then my secret rooms and delves video on Instagram, it went out to non-followers a ton. It reached 123 accounts. I got one like and one comment on it on Instagram. On YouTube, does it even show it in the list here? Yeah, right here. 52% watch the whole thing. Most people watch the first 45 seconds. So you can see drop-off rates on YouTube, which is really valuable. Making your content like short and concise enough to get your point across quickly. Um, and then, the reach stuff, you can see all the traffic sources, and you get really weird, like, stuff here, right? Like, uh, YouTube search terms. Somebody found this video because midnight token price prediction is what they searched, or somebody else searched for shoop, salt, and pepper, and this video came up like in their for yous. So, what up, you dial out? Welcome in, my dude. Uh, but I just think it's crazy that, like, yeah, you could see it on YouTube, what the reach was and everything. It got 1.1K views. Instagram, it got 141 views. But then we go look at the same video on TikTok, and you can see all the data for it here. 25,000 views on TikTok. Like, it's almost 700 likes, 32 comments, 25,000 views. It's almost to 200 hours of playtime. 10% are watching the whole video. I'm getting a drop off, like, on the viewership of it, but that's just the content life cycle. But you can see the attention rate here, classic diminishing returns. Absolutely. People watch the first 4 seconds, make the decision, and then they'll either swipe away or not. And that could be because the information is already out there. You had the day off and completely wasted it sleeping most of the day after my PC and I don't want to be annoying. Ah, gotcha. Well, it happens, man. Like, I always try to get outside and go for a walk. My internet gives me a hard time, which is actually my plan for when I get done with the weekly check-in. I'm going to go for a nice walk through my neighborhood. But uh, it's just real interesting, like, looking at the differences between the platforms and how stuff is getting utilized on them. It makes me wonder if I should stop like I should still keep putting everything on all the platforms, I think is the call. But I should double down on TikTok in particular because it seems to be where the most traction is on everything. And then of course you can see like my follower counts since we started here. Like bam, bam. I published this video 2 days ago. So sitting at 90, I'm at 113 now, which I don't think is right. It hasn't done today's. What am I at? 124. Uh, but if you look, like it is getting to a point where like traction is growing, like 9, 13, 13, 147, 137. Okay, 800 when I hit affiliate, kind of 800 from there. 275, 8, 687, 1300. So informational was my first like major uptick. Informational uptick, miscellaneous, okay, this got even more, but that was a short video where people felt related to it. And that was really me just trying to like utilize my creative abilities in, TikTok and learn the platform better. So I hadn't been using it. Funny video, you know, and then, you know, something I've thought about, like more views, kind of average, you know, 8 failed keys and this happens. That's a hook that I thought was fairly good to get people to be like, oh, what went wrong? And then if that's where my tank just disconnected in the middle and I didn't time another 13, that would have given me 3,000 rating. Um, I hit 3K. I got almost 2,000 views on that. And then I made this funny one with the lizard over here. It got 12,700 on Instagram. It got 130. Again, difference between platforms, but we've gone up. What is that? 34 followers in 2 days. That's a big jump. That is 30% increase. Put that in perspective. If I had 10,000 followers, that'd be another 3,000 followers in 2 days. Um, so that signals to me that like that kind of informational content is the content that I need to work to put out there and provide to people to grow the audience. And then this other content of like, oh, something funny, whatever miscellaneous stuff is content that they'll watch, they'll laugh at once the following is there. And that's just for the sake of, the community, right? Like that's not, oh, I'm hoping to grow this with that. It's not for growth, it is for nurturing, keeping the community alive and going and having something that they can participate in or with or comment on or share, right? So, TikTok all in all is definitely the substantial grower at this point. My viewership has gone crazy, as you can see, like actually on the graph. Like, okay, I pushed up my average a little bit, and then went back to the drawing board and thought about a little more what I need to do. Pushed up my average again. If I can stay at this like 4K plus viewership rating, things are going to be great. Like that's going to put me with eyes on a lot of people really quickly, spread that around. It's going to grow this community with like-minded individuals. We have a really great core of people that are already here and supporting this, which I think is awesome. Um, but then we're going to find others that are interested in the same thing, and that helps fill it out. And we all get to meet people through doing this together. So hopefully, I continue to come up with ideas that are informative enough and provide enough information to people to, put that out there and do that, and bring them into this so that they can hang out with all of us and have a good time. But it's real interesting. And then like the comments, oh my God, like people post questions on it, which is great for engagement. I reply back to them like as soon as I can usually. Um, but lots of questions, fun comments. It's next week is near time for 3K IO again. Dude, I am not getting 3K IO in week 1. It is not going to happen. That is such like so sweaty gamer level. If I had 3K in week 1, I I don't know what I would do for the rest of the expansion or the rest of the season. Oh yeah, the chase like it will start next week. Like Tuesday is going to be a big day. Tuesday's going to be push my key as high as I can right out the gate and then do raid. So, that's the goal. And then Wednesday will be hopefully I'll do some heroic pushing, heroic raid pushing outside of guild, and then push. Um, we'll do raid again on Thursday, a normal raid. So like I have to kind of pursue it that way just because we have 7 people sharing the tier set. We have 7 people that are cloth, and we have 4 mages. So I'm gonna be fighting for gear and raid pretty difficult, like pretty severely. You're gonna do holy for raid. Its HPS is insane. I think that's a good pick. I do, but yeah, I think back on the content front, um, you know, informational videos about the game are going to be kind of the bread and butter of providing value to the community and growing the viewership base for the channel and everything. Um, yeah, it's like this is I think we're pushing 25K. Where are we at? Where are the views? I don't see it on the web platform. 25,200 and still going. So yeah, I mean that's been a huge one. That's pushed up the likes, it's pushed up the followers. There's a lot of comments and engagement on it. So I have some plans for some more uh, informational stuff that I want to provide to everybody, but for the season. But it is going to be a significant time sink to, you know, make sure my research is accurate, put it into words, record it, and put it out there to everybody. And the hard part is some of this stuff, like with Secret Rooms of Delves, it was nice because I actually came across that on stream, and so I had the footage. Some stuff that I want to put out there that's informational is just not going to be any in-game footage that I can provide at this point in the season. Like if I want to talk about Raid isn't out and the PTR is closed now. So where do I snag the footage? You know what I mean? And I don't want to pilfer somebody else's footage of it. So, it kind of becomes an issue. But um, all in all, like we're on the right track. Things are moving the way we need to. All in all, the accounts are growing, which is what we want. And mind you, I started all of these with this channel, and I did not have I didn't go to my personal Instagram and go, guys, I'm starting this. Everybody go follow it and support me over there. Like this is all of you supporting it and putting your effort into it. All of my gamer friends and everything. So, you know, the talk is the king right now for my media getting out there, and it's where we start. Every single creator that out there that's got 10,000 or 100,000 had videos that started out with 100 likes or 10 likes and everything else. It's just the world we live in now. I think you got to curate a lot of content if you want to grow a following. It's just how it's got to be. But, I think hitting them all 3 platforms is the way to do it. And the one thing I did want to look at is, so I've got, since we started, we have 55,400, 4,700. So we're at essentially 60,000. And go back to my channel, Alex. I'm at 78,000 views overall across my entire media outreach, right? We humans can't help our attention spans are that of a gnat. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Um, I don't disagree. It's like shorter, more digestible content that's quick form goes fast. Like I can't tell you how many videos I've looked through just doom scrolling, like in an evening in 20 minutes, killing time or whatever. Is it 50? Is it 150? Is it 500? I don't know. Um, but what I wanted to compare was I'm sitting at 78,000 views across all of my media, and my Twitch has 67 followers. So we're roughly at, without doing all the little steps in between, every 1,000 views of social media content results in one more follower on Twitch. Uh, so I think that's a really, like, the data is starting to really support that. I'm seeing that trend pretty consistently more and more the longer we go and the more content that I create. But, that means, okay, to get to 200 followers, I need 200,000 views, right? Um, and I don't think it is something that is long term to scale, because the more you get out there, like, if you were to be able to show my videos to every single person that likes World of Warcraft or plays World of Warcraft on every social media platform, there's only so many of them, right? And of them, there's only so many of that will like the video. Of the people that would like the video, there's only so many of them, a smaller portion, that would go and follow my page on that platform. And an even smaller portion of them are not only going to follow the page, but then go and follow my Twitch. And an even smaller portion of that are people that are going to show up on the Twitch when I go live. So there's this continual reduction down on how people get brought to the channel when you're live. And I think that's really important to recognize. And I don't think that scales in the long term of, there's only so many people that will watch the game and participate it, love it, enjoy it, etc., and want to consume other forms of content around it. So you're starting with a reduced percentage right there, and because it narrows it down, you're only going to have so much room to capture the remaining people in there that would be interested and want to participate. So it's quite the challenge, but I think it is something that's worth pursuing, and eventually it'd be like, wow, one of these weekly check-ins, in a month, 2 months, a year, we don't know. I might be going, guys, we have over 1 million views on this TikTok reel, or we have 1 million views on the accounts now. Like, that's insane. I have content that's been viewed 1 million times. Like, I never would have expected that. Um, that actually makes me wonder if I can pull up my personal Instagram and see what it has. I might have to do it on my phone because I don't have it logged in on my computer, just so I don't accidentally post back and forth between them. Let's see here. Insights. Yeah, for July 11th through August 9th, my personal account has 1.8K views, um, with 17 new followers. And they're like all people I know, right? Like, can I extend this? Insights. Well, on my end, I don't use this jam. Sorry there. Oh, no, it's totally good. And what I'm going to do is, well, I did not want to do that. I'm going to try to pull it up in an incognito window, so it'll just log out of it. And I can take a look, because you can't see as many details on your phone. Yeah. Insights, account. Last 30 days. Yeah, my Instagram here. I'm just making sure it doesn't show anything. Yeah, my personal Instagram is right here. And you can see stuff that I shared on my personal Instagram from my actual account because I wanted to put it out there. But, it's my personal Instagram. Like, I just post shit that I think's funny and what I like, you know. And that's the last 30 day. Can I go 90? This only needs last 30 because we're only cutting off, like, we've done 30 days of streaming. Like, I don't know why it's not loading it. It just wants to fight me, apparently. But yeah, all in all, I think we're going in the right direction on everything. It's what we need. Um, we may, I hope we get to a point where we look back on this period of time and it looks like this period of time compared to where we're at that point, if that makes sense. Like these giant spikes we have now look like these little tiny bumps over here because we're doing so much better on everything. And there is a learning curve to that. It's not just, learning how the streaming software works and getting that set up and going live. It's understanding content curation, it's understanding how the platforms run, it's understanding the changes on the platforms. I have to keep up with all the stuff that's ongoing in WoW, especially around rating and gearing because of the knowledge base that's needed to run the guild and what's going on with that, to be a resource for the guild in that regard. Plus, changes to TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook as well. And then how each platform works differently for content generation, content creation, what they prefer, what they don't prefer. If you make a video in TikTok, for example, versus taking a video from your game and uploading it to TikTok, it will prioritize sharing of that video out there and that content. Uh, adding captions in the video versus letting the software, the platform you're on, do captions on its own. There's all these little things of minutia in it that are a big factor that you have to stay knowledgeable on. But here's been my TikTok rise so far. We're growing. Instagram's growing. YouTube's not bad, but what about TikTok? You die a lot? I don't think it's the best platform, but I think it is the best for sharing the content currently. I prefer Instagram personally, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do. But I'm starting to get the hang of like, okay, I thought the lizard thing was funny. I made it funny. 12,000 other people watched it, and 485 also thought it was funny. So yeah, a lot of people do dual platform, like combo streaming. I felt like I didn't want to reach into TikTok's like, dual streaming until I felt like I was in a comfortable spot with where the community has grown. Uh, and I'd like on Twitch, I think I'd like to be probably at like 200 followers on Twitch, and a significant like sub community that's active in like Discord and everything as well before I hit TikTok, because I don't want TikTok to just be an additional load on stream that I'm putting out there and providing and everything with minimal return for the people that come into the community other than just getting the stream itself, right? Like I want an established community for people to see, and be a part of when they come into it. So, yeah. But that's the quick rundown on that. The personal side of things, everything's going well. Uh, Still haven't done my Spanish, and I made more Japanese cards this week, and I haven't touched the guitar in like 2 weeks. So there you go. Any questions, my people? Yeah, well, that's fine. You die a lot, but stream doesn't need to be 7 different things that are always happening and always going on. Um, so I decided to kind of like zero in and focus on the gaming aspect alone. And once I've established a good community around it, I can go a little wider on what I want to do again. Trying to do variety streaming and hitting a bunch of different notes across the board with stream, I decided is not the move. So I doubling down and focusing on gaming content exclusively. Um, but I'm not worried about my Spanish at all. It's not really taking a hit because I already know enough Spanish. It's just, learning more of it. Um, where Japanese is really taking the front seat on like the language learning. Um, and then outside of that, the Battlefield 6 open beta has been incredibly fun. There's been some frustrating moments, some moments of enjoyment. Ugh. And of course, like I posted a video today. Uh, if you guys want to see it, we'll we'll mute this. Pretty cool deal. I muted everything. Yeah, let's bring it back here. This was a really great sextuple, like hexakill. Ah, hey Vana. Yeah, it was a really good shot. It was a really good shot. Um, and I'm sure there's like other highlights. Like I've done some really cool stuff. I've gotten some really great sniping shots. Uh, I'm really having a lot of fun playing engineer actually, and just fighting armor. But uh, I'm very excited for next weekend on the beta. Um, kind of not diving in because the progress doesn't carry over and I am at 26 now. It's all good. Like I wanted to play it to get a feel for what I like and everything. I have heard rumblings that the progress may carry over. You die a lot, but um, it really just depends on what EA decides. If it doesn't, no harm, no foul. I know what kits I like, I know what builds I like, and I'm gonna find probably more and different weapons that I enjoy in it when it comes out in October, 2 months from today, actually. Um, but yeah, all in all, um, goddamn, Japanese is challenging to say the least. It makes me wonder how it was so easy for me to learn Spanish. But then I think about it and I'm like, well, I learned Spanish in ninth grade and then just kind of slowly added to it over the last, you know, 18 years? I think that maths. The last 18 years. So, um, where I'm like condensing Japanese into like, bam, I'm actually learning rapidly kind of thing. So, and then guitar is just fuck. It is hard to stay motivated when you suck, but you got to keep on keeping on. Um, but that said, that's pretty much like the quick and dirty of where things are at, what stream looks like, where everything is going, what's going on with our community. Um, the Discord is still small, but we all have access to it. I know most of us have like a billion Discords that we're a part of, so it's just another thing on the list of like, oh, got to check it, comment there if it makes sense, let it sit there otherwise for a lot of us. And I totally get that. But it's all due to the shared Indo-European language family similarity in Spanish and English, where Japanese is a completely different family. Yeah, it is. It's because Spanish is one of the love languages. Um, and it has or I almost said Italian. It has Latin roots, so in a lot of it's same alphabet, so it makes it way easier. Where Japanese is all these new symbols that you have to learn to associate. But yeah, that said, like you die a lot, Vana, whoever else might be lurking. This is the time frame of the Sunday check-in where you get to ask questions. We get to hang out and shoot the shit. It is just chatting stream. It usually only goes for about an hour, so it's your time to really hit me with anything or vent, throw your ideas out there or what have you about stream and what's going on. And then also today was the first day of the Saints football season. Yeah. They played the Chargers and preseason, mind you, we lost, but it is what it is. Congrats, dude. Yeah. It's good to see the teams play in preseason to get a feel for what's going on. And then I'm also in some fantasy football leagues. We haven't drafted yet, so I'm trying to catch a lot of the footage to make sure I make educated choices on my fantasy team. Well, you may have won with your third string QB, but bear in mind, most preseason games you're playing second and third stringers to get them reps on the field in an actual game setting. Um, so it's kind of like your third string against their second or third string. It's not like you had your third string QB and then they did every single. Yeah, it's and to prevent injury against starters. So it is important to know that. But you know, you dial out. I know you had internet problems today. You told me about that, but and you slept mostly. So the question remains: what did Vana do with her day today? Since she's just hanging out and lurking in here right now. She might be in WoW trying to kill something and hear me talking to her, but can't reply. Mundane stuff like laundry. Ah, the fun of laundry. Yeah, I get you. That's my Friday afternoon usually. Ordered pizza though. Ooh, that's not a bad idea, Vana. I had chicken Alfredo for lunch and then promptly took like an hour and a half nap. So this way the heat has been terrible, so I'm sure she avoided going outside and stepping into the oven. It was warm today, but outside seemed fairly nice this morning. Yeah, it was 80. It's 88 right now. So when I was out there, it was like 74, and I was in the shade. So, but when this is over, I'm gonna go take a nice, enjoyable walk around the neighborhood, and in fact, I could go hit the pool if I wanted to, because it's still warm enough, and there won't be anybody there with their kiddos because it's Sunday night. Yes. But yeah, all said and done, everything's in a pretty good spot. Um, WoW is looking good. We did end the season. Um, I was 693 for all for all mages, and I was 93 for frost mages. So we did it last season. This season, season 3 coming up, I think it's going to be a much harder push because in there's Mage is just doing really well in the raid tier, and I think a lot of people are going to swap to Mage and push with it, and that's going to put more people in the field of the competition. So, to be top 100 on the server with what this season's rating was, it ended out being 3460. It went up by like 100. Yeah, I don't go outside unless it's absolutely necessary. Humidity is 85%. I almost made top 5K overall, and I missed top 100 at 107 realm because I swapped a disc over shadow for the last bit. It's usually in the 90s, so liking a little break. Yeah, um, the weather. It's summer, guys. Like we've got like a month of it left, and then it's fall, and then we get to my favorite time of year where it'll start snowing. And then we get the fun holidays that are not the summer holidays. So we get Halloween, which I love, and then of course Thanksgiving everybody enjoys, and Christmas, and my birthday's sandwiched in there as well. So, uh, actually, what is my birthday this year? My birthday's on a Saturday, guys. You hate snow? I love snow, man. If I could wake up to 4 feet of snow every day of winter, I'd be stoked. Where I live, we'll probably get like 2 to 4 inches one day, maybe 2 days out of the whole winter. Though the mountains nearby will get a lot more than that. Um, so just enough to kind of like check the box. You got news for me then? What's this news? Go live in Hokkaido. Yeah, I am aware of Sapporo and Hokkaido's snow amounts. Um, the power move. Have you guys heard about this? Uh, the line, like from Neom in Saudi Arabia. It's insane. Like it's a rendering of what it's going to look like, but it is absolutely bonkers what they're doing. This is just future. Just how is it dystopian? Desert. I live in a desert right now. How would you be isolated? That it's going to house 10 million people, assuming it like all goes according to plan. Like this, your arguments are like, humanity doesn't live outside of this area. Humanity literally lives all over the world outside of this area. But yeah, they're doing like a 170-kilometer long line. Nah, it's like the movies where everyone lives in one spot. Oh, that's not. I get what you're saying, but that's not what they're doing. Um, like you have this is the line, right? It's a crazy concept. I think the final amount that they're basing it's going to end up being is 100, like $1.5 trillion, and it's 500 meters high. 170 kilometers, 500 meters high. It's 34 square kilometers of footprint, and it's only 200 meters wide. So it's 600 feet wide by what? 500 meters high? So it's 600 by 1,500 feet. Like 600 feet, that's. I got to look at something on my other screen here. Maps. How far is it from my house to the pool? Measure distance. Distance to here. No, not directions. Okay, from the back door, like from the my back fence. I walk out my back door and hop over my half size back fence to get onto the sidewalk to go to the pool. It is 604 feet. That is how wide this place is. Like that is insane to think about. Like it's only this wide. It is 3 times taller almost. We need to do a line in the U.S. so we can do high-speed rail from Cali to Maine. Dude, the U.S. just needs high-speed rail in general. Like when I went to Europe, I took the train pretty much everywhere, and 100% that is the way to go. Like it's quicker, it's more efficient. You don't have to do crazy security checks like you do at airports. Like I was in when I went to Europe, um, I took a train from bam 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 bam. Where is it? Am I looking at Sweden? Yeah, I'm looking at Sweden. Okay. I took a train from some little city in here called Yovda. Um, Maybe it's further over. It's called Yovda, but it's spelled Skovdi. That's pronounced Yovda. Yeah, see, I was close. Somewhere over here. I took a train from there to Copenhagen, right? Directions. How far is this? Not walking, just to drive it. It's 421 kilometers, right? So that's what, 300 miles roughly. Um, and I took a train, and it was like 2 hours and 10 minutes with stops. Like, oh, a 15-minute stop here, get off, go over, go to the convenience store, grab something, get back on the train, go down to the food car, the bar car, whatever, and just keep going. Like, it took 2 hours. And then I took a train from Amsterdam to Berlin, right? Like, pretty much along this road right here is where the train goes. Again, like hour 40, and that's what measure distance. And there's a point here. That's exactly. Oh, I thought it was exactly right. It's 358 miles. Like, what? What up, muscle hamster? Welcome in, my dude. I am a nerd. Uh, but man, like that 358 miles, right? In the US, like for those of you that live out east, like 350 miles is what? New York to, oh, not even. 358. Let's see here. That's close enough. That's like a straight line from New York to south of Norfolk. Like, bam. That's the whole coastline. 2 hours, right? How long is it to drive that? Hunter, you're a nerd. It's your Express. The official muscle answer. It's your Express. Prez? Express? Express. It's your Express. Hmm. Make me try to figure out who this is. With a name like Muscle Hamster, though, I'm intrigued. President Biden is in the chat. I would be I would laugh at that. I'd be down with that. If it is who I think it is, they're gonna make me guess. That's a long name too. Come on now. Come on now. I mean, there's a lot of people that have access to my Twitch now. So he likes squirrels. The official ones. I mean, yeah, I'm sure this is one of my fraternity brothers. I've kind of zeroed in on that. I want to say this might be Mr. Marshall, short, sexy brother. Then I'm going with Trumby. I mean, that one would make sense. Brown brother. Short, sexy brown brother. That's a muscle hamster. A Don. Am I getting closer? Ah, I got it. Got it in less than 21 questions. All right. Yeah, well, welcome in, my dude. Sunday is yeah, just chatting stream where I do what's called the Sunday check-in. You missed it. Like I go over all of my uh Twitch and social accounts and everything, and then we move into like just hanging out and chatting with everybody. But welcome in, my man. I appreciate you being here. Um, I hope you like the Cowboys content I send you. But yeah, man, thanks. I appreciate it. Um, but to my point with this, guys, high speed rail absolutely should be a thing in the US. Um, yeah, sorry, Ivana. Like that same distance, I could go from my house to Spokane, probably. Oh, that's only 271 miles. How far is Seattle? Like 400, right? 396. Yeah, I could drive in a straight line. That's almost to Seattle. That is outside Seattle. That's like Yakima. It's further than Yakima by like 50 miles. It's almost to Renton or Tacoma, you know, or out here, go from what, LA. It's half the distance of Boise to LA. It's less than half the distance of Boise to LA. So if it was a straight line, a 4 hour train ride. And that, bear in mind, this is not like super high speed rail that I was on when I was in Europe. This is the rail that is like European rail. It's fast, but it's not like the Japanese bullet trains or something, you know, where those things are crazy fast. Like, how fast can they go? Anybody know? How fast is Japanese high speed rail? 200 miles per hour. That's a 3 hour trip. They go faster on certain sections. They average 200. Uh, the trains I was on were doing like 90, I think. 90, 95, somewhere in there. Um, but that is a 3 hour trip. For me to fly to LA, I got to drive to the airport. That's 20 minutes. Um, then I got to spend the 40 minutes in security, which in the Boise airport really isn't that long. It's probably more like 10 minutes. And then I sit around for an hour and a half at the bar waiting for my flight. So we're at 2 hours before I board, another 30 minutes of boarding before takeoff. So we're at two and a half. Then I have what, a 2 hour and 40 minute? No, an hour and 40 minute? I think it's Vegas is an hour 40. LA is like two and a half. So now we're at 5 hours. Plus, I got a deplane, which is another half hour essentially, because everybody decides to stand up at right when the plane lands for whatever reason, even though they're all going to wait in the damn line to get off the plane anyway. Um, and then get off the plane. I only carry like do carry on, so I don't have to wait for luggage, but um, I can go straight out. Got to wait for an Uber, and that's like okay, I'm at my destination essentially, right? So that's essentially 5 hours minimum for me to fly to LA. 5 hours. High speed rail, even if the line wasn't perfectly straight, two and a half. Like the time it takes me to get from my house to board the damn plane, or the time it takes me on the plane to fly from Boise to LA, I could have already shown up in LA with the high speed rail, which is crazy. Like I understand why it doesn't happen, but I think it's stupid that it doesn't happen. Like if we did, we're gonna clear this measurement. We're gonna clear this. Like we could do measure a distance. Okay, Vegas to LA, right? Or LA to Vegas, 224 miles. That's an hour high speed rail. Um, let's be realistic on the pathing here. We'd probably have to go to like St. George, Cedar. You'd have to go up and around just mountains, Salt Lake, right? Connected in. Uh, and then you'd want Salt Lake would probably go to, just bear with me, guys. Pocatello, Twin, and Boise. If you did this janky, just to interconnect these to each other, right? Um, it's only 983 miles. You could go from LA via all the way around in less than 4 hours, right? Boise to Portland, which you'd have to go like this through Bend and come up and over and up, probably. Uh, it makes it 1,400 miles. Like just interconnecting this in, and then of course, like the smart move is you would do Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, like LA, right? Do the coast, have one into Vegas, have one into Boise. They can merge in Salt Lake. You shoot one over to Denver, and then Denver can spiral out into the rest of the country. Holy Mountains Batman, or they can drill through the mountains. Well, the what this is called the Great Basin right here. All this in like Nevada and Salt Lake, because this is all locked in by mountains. Like these are the Rockies right here that come down, and then you have like the Sierras, and then you get into the Cascades over here. Um, this is all high mountain desert. Like this is all high mountain desert up here. This is all Great Basin desert down here. Um, these mountains are pretty fucking big, my dude. Like your mountains out here are our foothills. Yeah, hour and a half. Santa Monica to Portland, hour and a half. 15 minutes, Portland, Seattle. Um, it's and then you could interconnect Portland with Boise, Salt Lake, do Vegas, Salt Lake. You do another one of Salt Lake to Denver, right? So now the whole Western US, like major cities, and then of course you could do Seattle to Spokane, because going through here, this is Hell's Canyon. This is the deepest canyon in the United States. Not as wide as Grand Canyon, but it's deeper. I'm certified as a raft guide on this river, by the way. Um, you can't run it there. These roads, you wouldn't run it. You'd probably have to go like around through Pendleton and the Grand. But again, mountains. We look at the terrain layer. There you go. Like, it's insane. But you connect them in. If you get Denver, you can straight shot just like, original rail did in our country. Okay, Kansas City. You can go Minneapolis, OKC, spiral one out from Dallas, get the Gulf Coast all connected in, get the East Coast connected in, and suddenly it's like what, 8 rail lines, major rail lines of high-speed rail in our country, and you would dramatically remove long-haul flights in the continental U.S. and the need for vehicles. And that right there is 100% the reason that it will not happen. Both of those things utilize a ton of petroleum product, and I don't think I'm a conspiracy theorist, but the automakers and the planes do not want us to not use their product, so we will be stuck using it for a long time to come. And the shitty part is a lot of the rail that exists built in like the 1800s into the like even the 1960s or 70s in our country isn't designed for high speed rail use like that. So we can't just bam go pop train on it and run it in a lot of sections. Now, what has been talked about is you could pull up a lot of those lines and put down high speed rail and bank turns the way they need to and make some modernizations to them, and a lot of them would become effective. But that is a major infrastructure update to the country, right? Billions of dollars. Um, but it's I think it's absolutely something that can be utilized, especially with like maglev tech and everything that already exists. Like this isn't some crazy futuristic idea, like could absolutely be doable. And just for a crazy one, because I'm curious here. Okay, got to do the routing, right? Bam, 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 bam. Okay, we get to Vegas, and we'll have to go to LA. Say I wanted to go to Mexico City, right? Probably go through Phoenix, Tucson. They would go across. Bam. Okay, there we go. And we just follow down to Chihuahua because we're going to be on the backside of this mountain range. All the way down. And I know we got to jog over and around. And we can just cut across. I'm sure there's some extra mileage in here that I'm either missing or added. 2,500 miles. We'll call it 2,500 miles. So I could do a high-speed rail in a 12-hour jaunt from Boise to Mexico City. Yeah, but we could totally, at least over on the East Coast, make new rail systems, even within cities. Example, Cincy is a hub. I'm 5 hours from major cities: Chicago, Detroit, Nashville, Louisville, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, all driving in less than 5 hours. If we could central hub to more places, would be fire. Yeah, and I think in the reality of that is you don't make one a central hub, you make all of them hubs, right? Like, okay, since you do not like Indianapolis, Columbus, Louisville, Nashville, right? And then you can do Louisville, Indianapolis, Louisville, Cincinnati. You would just either transfer or you could continue to Columbus and Pittsburgh, right? Like that makes sense. Uh, Columbus can go to Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Detroit, Cincy. You know what I mean? Like, oh, there's all these little hubs of like quick back and forth. And then getting around isn't like you have to do one long haul one. It's a bam. And then you put a couple long hauls over the top of it. Like there's one that goes Nashville to Philly via Pittsburgh, Columbus, Cincy, Louisville, Nashville, right? It just stops at each of those. And then if you get off there, you just transfer over and you get on your little one from Cincinnati to Indianapolis or Indianapolis to Chicago. Like bam, bam, done. You know, but your 5 hours between all these cities is still, I can drive for 5 hours in one direction in my state and not leave my state. Texas is even worse than that, as many people know. But yeah, it's crazy. I think high speed rail is definitely, uh, a necessity in the U.S. for long term growth. But I just wanted to show you something here. All right, let's put Boise on Cincinnati. Yep, that's about right. That's what my state looks like compared to your neck of the woods. And then I'm sure, I know Vana is back east, but I don't remember where off the top of my head. Virginia? Kentucky. Kentucky. But then you add in livable space. Well, I mean, Idaho has plenty of livable space. It's just rural. Now, granted, the mountains are much more daunting of a challenge than your mountains are to live in. I'll put the bottom of Idaho on the corner of Kentucky. Bam. Howdy, neighbor. Yeah, we have like 1.8 and change. Uh, yeah, I know. Population density is important, but it's crazy how, you know, big some states actually are. Like a third of Egypt. Or if you go farther north, go to South Korea with Idaho. Can I rotate it? I can change the color by double clicking it. Yeah, I'm confident in saying that all of South Korea would fit in Idaho. Yeah, it is insane. Or what's the biggest city in India? Because it's like Mumbai, right? Is Mumbai still the biggest city in the world? Yeah, whole countries in our states. Well, and your guys' states are smaller though, right? Like Kentucky's like the bottom third. It's like a third of the United Kingdom. I'd say that's comparable in land mass. Kentucky's like the size of Iceland for Ivana, or she's, like big chunks of the Eastern Bloc, a third of Germany kind of deal. There you go, like the size of Portugal. Azerbaijan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan. You get to like your most realistic size comparison at the equator, of course, because it's a Mercator, so it has to scale them differently as you like see how big it gets when you go up to the top. Ohio is 45,000 uh, square miles, and Kentucky is 40,000 square miles. Idaho is almost as big as both of our states. What's the total population of Kentucky and Ohio combined? I spelled Kentucky wrong. Ohio's population is not right because it's looking at Ohio County. 4.588 million. So combined, you guys are sitting at what, 16 million? Yeah, the West is great, my friend. The West is great. I do love it out here. Or, okay, let's do this. High point of Kentucky. Black Mountain is the highest peak in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Your summit elevation is 4,145 feet, which that is crazy to think about because the highest point in your state is less than 1,500 feet higher than where I'm sitting right now. Like, your high point is between these two bands in our foothills. Like, this is literally not far from my house. Like, that's within 2 miles of me, is what your high point is. Ohio's highest point is Campbell Hill, and that's 1,549. So that is more than 1,000 feet below where I'm sitting. Idaho's high point, it's over here in the Lost River Range, so we got to go to Bora. Is right here. And Bora sits at 12,662 feet. Right there. Go up to the top. It's marked on like the backside of it. It's pretty cool though. It's right here. I've been there. So you can stack 10 of your, well, not quite 10, like 8 of your high point on each other to make our high point. And Idaho doesn't even have like our highest point is in the 12,000s. We don't even have any 14ers. Colorado's got 14 14ers. Like this whole stretch, there's tons of 14ers. And then, of course, you've got Mount Shasta down here, which is like, or Mount Whitney. Yeah, Mount Shasta and Mount Whitney are down here. Whitney is like 19, 20. You have to pull a permit to climb Mount Whitney. Yeah, the cool thing about the Appalachians though is back in oh god, like 160 million years ago, these were like these. And it's these got worn down to be like that, essentially. But the Rockies are incredible. Like yeah, they go all the way through the continent. Yeah, Alaska is the high point of the continent. So it's pretty cool. Definitely interesting. But yeah, I mean, interconnecting with high speed rail, I think would absolutely be a good idea. I think we'd really need to do it, but I don't foresee it happening in the near term. Maybe in the next 20 years, but you feel it's not proven, but I feel it relates highly to people. I'm not sure what you mean. Like you feel that high speed rail isn't proven technology? Oh, no. No, it's I don't think mountain height has to do with human population on the continent. I think you're trying to rage bait me, and I'm not falling for it. Pretty cool though. We live on this little guy. Wow, it's already dark for you guys right now? That sucks. What is a street view? Oh, it's at Mount Whitney. I was like, what is this? Oh, look at all that granite. Oh, so cool. I recently went to college for geology, so I'm a total rock nerd, as Mr. Muscles knows. Muscle hamster. I prefer the dark. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm a night owl personally. I like the dark as well. I really like the dark in summer because then it's just like it's nice out. Sunlight is painful. Pro tip, Mana, put tinfoil up in your windows and you won't get any light into your room and you can be a real degenerate gamer. Yeah, everybody ignore my mod. He's trying to rage bait us. Like, you don't have to right click ignore him, just ignore what he's saying. I have curtains, one very single window and a blind. No light comes in. I've thought of doing that with tinfoil. Yeah, I mean, I have a window there and a window behind me. You can see the edge of this one right here. But that one faces north, and then the one on that wall faces, well, that one behind me faces northwest. Like it's angled slightly northwest. The other wall is angled to the northeast. So in summer, when the sun comes up over the ridge line, it comes right in the window on that wall next to me, not the one behind me there, and lights up the whole room. Acid rain, more pollution. Yeah, dude, we didn't degrade, you know, 8,000 feet of elevation in 200 years. And I'm actually here in Utah to show you the biggest hole humanity's ever dug, which I believe is in one of these areas. Where's it at? It's around here somewhere. Is it? No, that's not it. That is a mine, but it's not the mine I'm looking for. Here, Provo. I know it's in here somewhere. Could just Google it. Ghost No, not a borehole. That's deepest, not biggest. Bingham Canyon. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, this is the Bingham copper mine. It is the biggest pit mine in the world. Just to give you an idea of how big it is. Most of like above the 41st, then the 40th parallel was shaped pretty dramatically by glaciation in the last major ice age. But yeah, I mean, this thing is massive. Here, let's look at some photos to give you an idea. Like this truck, that's like the size of a house. That is how big this fucking place is. It is insane. Like, look at that. You have to go up a whole set of stairs just to get up into the cab. It's crazy. Crazy. Have you ever seen natural glacier grooves? I have. I've also seen, like the front tidal depositions of glaciers. And I visited Ohio once. I did. Where did I go in Ohio? Yep, 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 yep. I went from there's Baltimore, there's DC. I went from DC to Baltimore to Philly, and then went some direction this way. I know we went through. I think we came like out here. We went through Amish country. I did go to Intercourse, Pennsylvania. I have a picture of me at the sign, like a total goober, so I thought it was funny. Uh, and then, yeah, I crossed over. I need the regular map leaders here so we can see boundaries. Bam, bam. We went Philly. I think we went. Where's Gettysburg? I know we went to Gettysburg. We went like from Philly to uh, Intercourse to Gettysburg. And then I know we drove across, like we came up to Lake Erie somewhere in here and drove all the way around up to Detroit. No, that's not true. We skipped Detroit. We went like way across through here somewhere. I know we went through Ohio. And then we went up to Chicago. And then from Chicago, we went to Des Moines and then Sioux City, across South Dakota, and then Rapid City, and then came down through here. And I took us all the way to Casper. And then we drove out across to Lander and went to Little America, which is out here somewhere. There it is, Little America. So Kelly's Island is up there near Erie and Put in Bay. Right here. So yeah, fun fact. When I said that I originally went to school for geology, it's not like you just learn about like what types of rocks are. You learn about how formations are made and erosion and all kinds of cool stuff. That's pretty cool. Cedar Point, man, that looks like a fun day out. Go check out some rocks and Kelly's Island, and then go to Cedar Point. I have never been to Cedar Point. Oh, I bet it is. I love roller coasters, my dude. Like hell yeah. See, this guy loves them too. But man, that was a wild route. We got through all. You've been to Cedar Point, Vana? You live 30 minutes from Kings Island, but I live near Cedar Point. Oh, that's pretty cool. We do not have a theme park out here. Lived in Detroit at one point, did a road trip to Cedar Point. Nice. That's fucking awesome. Yeah, no theme. We have a theme park in northern Idaho called Silverwood. It's pretty cool. You don't need my cookies. I'm sure it's not as cool as Cedar Point, but to have something out in our state, even like the northern part of our state, is pretty nifty. I was like, why are these all like the little medium intensity? Cool, cool, cool. High intensity. My kind of shit. Pretty nifty. But yeah, I think the line is pretty fascinating. Um, like whether you agree with the politics of it or environmental impacts or not, like I think it is very forward thinking to be trying to do in our lifetime. Uh, and if they're successful in its creation, I think it'd be interesting purely because now you have all these people in this place living and working together, and they want it to be like multicultural and international, right? Like they want people from all over the world to move there because obviously got to have people living in it to sustain it. So, nah, I'd love to live in something like that as long as I have a gaming PC. But I'm still pissed 2025 my Switch 2 and VR don't have 5G connections. I'm sure there's probably like a mod for that, for sure. Like there would have to be like somebody has come up with some kind of mod to give 5G to your Twitch or something, or your not your Twitch, your Switch. I mean, look at that. Wouldn't you want to just walk down to the lagoon on the Red Sea? Dinosaurs have pooped all over the planet. I would bet you money that you have water molecules inside you that were in dinosaur urine at some point. Like they existed for 70 million years. Humanity's existed what, like 200,000 at best? So yeah, to put that simply, you got dinosaur pee in you. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. More mage stuff. I'm excited for season 3. It's going to be so good, guys. We're going to have so much fun with that. Mage. Yes, mage indeed. Mage indeed. Uh, well, guys, I want to go ahead and get my walk done before it does get dark here in like the next hour, while it's still cool out and everything. And I got to make some dinner, I think. So that is the Sunday check-in. I'm gonna raid you guys into. Uh, I'll drop you guys off with Sperry. Play Madden 26 with Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, we'll drop you off with Sperry. She's really fun. I like her stuff. She's streaming some WoW, so you can hang out. Drop the horns you get there. You guys don't have to lurk there forever or anything. Just say hi. Tell her I sent you. I'm gonna say hello as well. But yeah, Sunday check-in is always a nice casual time. It's good chat with you guys and hanging out. It's nice to actually just have a back and forth with everybody instead of I got to focus on a game and chat. I just get to chat. So as always, thank you for being a part of this. I hope the clarity on the Sunday check-in keeps you guys in the know. And I couldn't be here doing this without your guys' help, so I appreciate all of you immensely. And I look forward to this week where we're gonna have a ton of season 3 content coming at you. So that said, like really, it's I do this because I get to do it with you guys. That's what I love, what I'm excited about, the whole shebang. So, um, you know, thank you as always for being here. And I look forward to doing more streams with you guys and hopefully getting into some content in game with you as well. So until tomorrow when I stream again, it'll be 6:30 Mountain, which is 8:30 Eastern and 5:30 Pacific. So yeah, thank you. And here is Sperry. Pretty good. I did the Sunday check-in, which is where I go through all the details of how the stream and content and the person I was going.